Hey there! In this video we are going to show you how to play Lata. A special thanks to Pythagoras Games for providing us this preview copy. All the rules are final. Only the components may have minor differences when compared to a production copy. Lata follows Café in a collection of 5 games to be released, the Cinco Quinas collection. If you also want to learn how to play Café, we will link our tutorial at the end of this video. In Lata, each player is the manager of a canning factory, which goal is to organize their factory in the most efficient way to produce and sell the most canned sardines and mackerel. The game is played over 6 rounds, where the players are going to acquire products to pack in their factories and sell them to the national and international markets. Each round is divided into 4 phases. In Phase A, the turn order for the round is decided by a hidden bid auction in action points. In Phase B, you choose a set of products from those available to enhance your production line. In Phase C, you produce canned goods in your factory and sell them to the available markets. And in Phase D, you have the opportunity of buying a scoring card for the end of the game. As soon as the 6 rounds are played, you sum up the victory points from all your scoring cards, and the player with the most victory points is the winner. Before describing the 4 round phases, there is one important aspect to consider. You start each round with 9 action points that you are going to spend in the auction to play first in turn order or to perform your actions during the round. On your player board, you can track how many action points you have available, and on the cards you can see the requirements in action points. At the beginning of each round, you need to prepare the common display of production cards, market cards, and scoring cards according to the number of players. In Phase A, the turn order for that round is determined by a simultaneous hidden bid auction in action points. After all players had how many action points to use, the player screens are removed and the turn order is assigned, starting by the player who spent the most action points. In Phase B, following the turn order, all players are going to choose a set of products from those available and place them into their factories to enhance their production line. A set may be composed by 1 or 2 cards and may contain products as sardine, mackerel, tomatoes, and olive oil. When you choose a set of products, you must place them into your factory, having in mind that your factory is going to produce canned goods always from the left to the right. To place a product into your factory, you do not have to spend any action points, but you must pay any indicated cost to the general supply. The last thing you need to consider is that you cannot move or remove cards from their positions later in the game. However, you can overlap existing cards as long as you pay the indicated cost. Your factory is going to produce canned goods from left to right and from top to bottom in case a card shows 2 symbols. Your goal is to produce and sell the most canned sardines and mackerel, represented by 3 colors of cubes. Silver cubes are regular canned sardine and only require 1 sardine in your production line. Red cubes are canned sardine in tomato sauce and require 1 sardine plus 1 tomato. And yellow cubes are canned mackerel in olive oil and require 1 mackerel plus 1 olive oil. In Phase C, following the turn order, all players are going to produce canned goods in their factories and sell them to the available markets. On your turn, you perform your production and then sales actions before passing the turn to the next player in turn order. There is an important aspect you need to consider. All the symbols to the right of the card you are activating for production are products you still have available in your production line. Therefore, all previous symbols are products that were already spent and that are no longer available in your production line for the rest of the round. For each card you want to activate to produce canned goods into, You have to spend one action point from the track on your player board, no matter if that card produces one or two goods. When activating a symbol to produce canned goods, you place one cube of the corresponding color on top of the product you are activating. Let's see an example. You spend one action point to activate your first production card. You could produce regular canned sardine, placing one silver cube on top of the sardine. However, as you have tomato available, you can produce canned sardine in tomato sauce, placing one red cube instead. That sardine is no longer available for production this round. Next, you spend another action point to activate your second production card. This card has two symbols and you always activate them from top to bottom. Activating the tomato, as you still have a sardine available, you produce canned sardine in tomato sauce, placing one red cube on top of the tomato, which becomes unavailable. Activating the sardine, as you do not have any more tomatoes available, you can only produce regular canned sardine, placing one silver cube on top of the sardine. Then you spend another action point to activate your third production card. Activating the olive oil, as you still have a mackerel available, you produce canned mackerel in olive oil, placing one yellow cube on top of the olive oil, which becomes unavailable. Finally, considering that the mackerel does not produce any canned goods on its own, you do not pay any further action points because you cannot activate your fourth production card. After you finish producing canned goods, you have the opportunity to sell them to the markets as long as you have the required action points available on your truck. For each market you want to provide canned goods to, you have to pay the depicted cost in action points, no matter how many canned goods you are going to sell there. Then you receive the indicated amount in coins for each cube you sold to that market. In case you provided the last cube necessary to complete the requirements on a market card, you take it to your player area, returning any cubes on top to the general supply. Market cards can also be considered for the final scoring, in addition to the production cards. You should note that once per turn you can spend one action point to reveal and add an extra card from the deck to the display of market cards. After you sell all desired canned goods, you need to validate if you have any goods remaining. You can store regular canned sardines into your basket of salt for future rounds, but any sardines in tomato sauce and mackerel in olive oil are lost and returned to the general supply. In Phase D, following turn order, all players are going to have the opportunity of buying a scoring card that can provide additional victory points by the end of the game. To acquire a scoring card, you do not have to spend any action points, but you must pay the indicated cost to the general supply. You should note that once per turn you can spend one coin to reveal and add an extra card from the deck to the display of scoring cards. Once all players perform their turn on Phase D, a new round begins, starting by preparing the new set of products and going again through the phases A to D. As soon as 6 rounds are played, there will be no more production cards available on the deck, and the end of the game is triggered. Sum up the victory points from all your scoring cards that can provide you points for the cards in your factory, including those you overlapped, or only for the visible ones in your production line. Then, the player with the most victory points is the winner. And that is all you need to know to play Lata. On the rulebook, you can also find the game variant and the rules for the solo mode. If you enjoyed learning this game with us, don't forget your thumbs up and please consider subscribing. Until then, stay connected and be safe. See you soon!